We are in chapter 1, verse 3. We had a few days break. I apologize for that, but we are back. Okay, so I'm going to do as always. We're going to read the Hebrew and translate and explain a little bit in English. Ma yitaron la'adam. What yitaron? Yitaron could be translated as benefit, profit, or advantage. It's from the Hebrew word yoter, which means more. Ma yitaron la'adam. What advantage, profit, or benefit is there for a person? Bechol amalo, with all of his toils. Sheya'amol, that he will toil, tachat hashamesh, under the sun. Okay, so just like at the beginning when we started with this sort of dichotomous tone of havel havalim, what is the point, right? We could ask the question rhetorically, almost like with resignation and from a sense of angst, like what's the point of anything? Meaning doesn't feel like there is necessarily a point and feel distraught from that. And it seems from some of what King Solomon says that he had moments like that. But this question could also be posed sincerely. What's the point? What's the focus? What's the directive? What's the goal? What's the end game? So likewise, a lot of these questions could be read with that double entendre. What point is there? What advantage is there? What benefit is there to all of the toil that a person will pursue under the sun? Okay, so in order to understand what Solomon means by this verse, what we need to look at as the word amelut. Amelut means toil, hard work, and also what it means to say under the sun, tachat hashamesh. So there are different ways of understanding the word amelut. Amelut can mean working for a living, right? By the sweat of your brow, you should eat bread, right? It could mean working spiritually, and it could be any kind of efforts, and so it can be, and if you look at the different commentaries, the Midrash and the Gemara, the Talmud, they all kind of do their own spin on this. So one way of looking at it is, what benefit, what profit is there for all of the hard work that a person puts in to invest to make money over the course of his lifetime under the sun? Under the sun means in this world. And if that's the case, then like we all know, you can't take it with you. Right? So we could answer that question, and he does answer that question because he talks a lot in future chapters about the meaning and the value of wealth. And like what we said with the word hevel, it's like air. It just depends what you do with it. Money isn't bad or good. It's just something. It's currency. And then what do we do with it? But so he's exploring this question. What's the point of it? Where are we trying to focus it? So again, it could be like, what's the point of it? Or it could be, what is the point of it? What's it for? What's it meant for? So that's one way to look at it. Another way to look at it is tachat hashamesh means under the sun. So it could mean in this physical, temporary world that we inhabit. Or it could mean in lieu of. The word tachat in Hebrew means under, but it also means instead of, in exchange for. So in exchange for the sun, according to the Talmud, the sun represents light and warmth and wisdom, which is the Torah, which is spiritual consciousness and directive. So another way of interpreting this verse is, what benefit, what profit, advantage is there for a man when he trades in his own efforts in lieu of spiritual consciousness, in lieu of Torah, and in lieu of the sun? Right? When we trade our integrity for profit, we don't end up benefiting. So like a lot of the verses in this book, we're going to see there are multiple ways of understanding it, but they kind of all boil down to these two ways of looking at things. One is validating and acknowledging the fact that we have these like deep, existential, sometimes unanswerable questions that could get us feeling overwhelmed and bogged down. And then also approaching it from the perspective of, but when we are feeling stronger and more inspirable, how can we try and make meaning of these issues and of these questions and direct our efforts in life? And he's going to continue with this. He's going to do a little more philosophizing in this verse, in this chapter, and then in future chapters he's going to explore themes in different foci that people have when they are trying to design their life's mission statements. So stay tuned for that.